welcome. My name's Phil, and this is episode number 11 of My Favourite Shots. And today we are coming from a real cinema. It's so nice to be in the cinema. Thank you very much to the Lexi in Kensal Rise, the first ever social enterprise cinema, for letting me film here today.
Thank you for your cooperation.
If you've not already, please subscribe and hit the bell button down below, and you'll get a notification each time a video goes up. Right, so in no particular order, this is my top 10 of all the films on Netflix at the moment. Number 1, we have La La Land, the Hollywood epic jazz-infused nostalgia fest starring Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. Fantastic film. They literally are star-crossed lovers. I'd really recommend this for a date night movie. Number 2 is Groundhog Day, where we have Bill Murray starring as Phil? Hey! Who's stuck in a time loop, and he has to try and work out how to get out of that time loop. Number 2 is Groundhog Day, where we have Bill Murray starring as Phil? Hey! Who's stuck in a time loop, and he has to try and work out how to get out of that time loop. He tries everything from going off a cliff to trying to make everything work. It's a very, very funny film.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? You little brat?
You have never thanked me. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe.
Number 3 is No Country for Old Men, a very bleak and stark thriller from the Coen brothers. I'm not a massive Coen brothers fan, but this film, I think, is the least Coen-y brothers of all of their films, and it feels much more grown up for them, and it's the most brilliant performance by Javier Bardem as the permed psychopath who's just a complete nutcase, and it's just the most scary character in all of cinema. I'm not that enamored with the ending of this film, but it is worth watching despite that ending.
That's the way you want to put it.
Well, I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is.
Number 4, we have another thriller. This time it's a police thriller called Training Day,
You've been planning this all day?
I've been planning it all week, son.
with Denzel Washington in his Oscar-winning performance, who's taking Ethan Hawke through his paces on his first day. And Ethan Hawke really stands up in terms of acting. They are really level pegging in this one. It's a really good film, and you just don't know which way it's going to turn. There's some great surprises along the way. Really good film. 5, we have the psychological drama called Silence of the Lambs. This is actually one of my favourite films ever, and it got lots of Oscars at the time. I know it's scary, but that's not just about being a scary film. It's a fantastic bit of storytelling about Agent Starling, played by Jodie Foster, and she has to enlist the help of Hannibal Lecter, who's another crazy psychopath, played by Anthony Hopkins, and of course he gets to tell us how he likes to eat his offal.
With some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Number 6, we have the art house film Roma, which won Oscar for Best Film and was actually produced by Netflix, and one of the only films produced by Netflix which is really good, alongside Beast with No Nation, which is another good one produced by Netflix. This film's probably not for everyone because of its pacing, but I love it. You just have to settle in and get used to the much slower pace of the film. Any film that can show the passage of time through how many dog poos there are in their back garden is a good thing in my book. Number 7, we have Sense and Sensibility, a period piece with Jane Austen providing the book for Emma Thompson's award-winning script writing. And of course, this was the film that really launched the career of Kate Winslet. And thanks to the direction of Ang Lee, this film just doesn't date as much as lots of those kind of Jane Austen period dramas do. It still stands up, and it still makes me cry. Number 8 is
Anyone?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is a classic film from the 80s. It still stands up today. I still love watching it. I don't know how much of that is nostalgia because I remember watching it as a kid, or how much it's actually a fantastic film. I think it's probably a mixture of the two.
Get well.
Number 9 is Sherlock Holmes.
Most engaging.
This is a great popcorn movie, really fun adventure. It's a classic Guy Ritchie film. There's things to spot even on a second viewing, and it's a great relationship between Jude Law's Watson and Robert Downey Jr.'s Holmes.
I understand.
Do you?
I do.
And at number 10, we have American Beauty. And despite Kevin Spacey's recent fall from grace, I think this is one of the greatest films of all time. It's a fantastic film with a midlife crisis, with so many subplots that every single scene feels important and like you don't want to leave it. It's funny, it's sad, it's thought-provoking. I really do think this is one of my favourite ever films, and it should definitely be in my top 10.
Spectacular.
And number 11 in my top 10 is The Truman Show.
Cue the sun.
I couldn't not have this film on this list. It's a fantastic film by Peter Weir. It's both a masterful piece of storytelling, it's so well structured, and it has a fantastic ending, and it talks about what it is to be truly human. Jim Carrey is just brilliant in this film. I love his performance.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
It was harder than I thought to make this list. There's quite a few contenders, and I really had to whittle them down. So a few honourable mentions to films that didn't quite make the list would be Marriage Story, fantastic drama, The Blues Brothers, The Terminator, that still stands up even now. Ex Machina is a really good film. The Lord of the Rings as a trilogy almost made it on the list, but I just can't watch it nowadays without fast forwarding Frodo and Sam.
Oh, Sam.
Being John Malkovich, that's such a good and weird film. And if you've not seen it, 12 Years a Slave is another fantastic film. Not one you would watch again and again, but it's a groundbreaking piece of cinema. So there we go. My top 10 films on Netflix. Tell me if you agree or you disagree.
You're coming back, ain't you?
Shall return.
Next week, we're going to be looking at a shot from an animated film called Kung Fu Panda. I know, there really is one of my favourite shots in that film.
We should hang out. Agreed.
It's a great film, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So come along next week, and I'll see you next time.